Thank you very much indeed. Hello, I'm Alexander Armstrong and welcome to Pointless, the quiz show where obvious answers mean nothing and obscure answers mean everything. Let's meet today's players. First, we welcome back Leanne and Vicky. You were on the show last time. Everyone gets 2 chances to reach the Pointless final, and this is your last chance. Remind us what happened.
We got to round 2, and we got a very difficult question.
It was a history question.
Yeah, it was a history question, so we really struggled. I thought I knew the answer, but I didn't.
You'll never get that one wrong again, will you?
No, I've learnt that lesson.
You have. Anyway, today's a new day. Leanne, what would you like to see come up today?
Again, some literature questions or maybe some TV, films, something that we can hopefully answer.
That would be great. What do you like to do in your spare time, Leanne?
Well, we're both sort of bingo fans, so
You're bingo fans?
Bingo fans.
What's the weirdest thing you've ever won at bingo?
Or
maybe actually, you don't win things like tins of peas.
You win money, but we won enough money for me to go to Cuba and Vicky to have a holiday as well, yeah.
Bingo has been good to you.
Yes.
How fantastic. Well, I hope you cover yourselves in glory and maybe, who knows, maybe there'll be another trip to Cuba.
Thank you.
Or at least to Mecca. Anyway, best of luck to the pair of you. And next, we welcome back Roger and Christine. You were on the show last time as well. Remind us what happened.
We got through to the head-to-head, but then we lost out.
You did really well. And then Roger, you said any music apart from the last 25 years, Pink Floyd comes up, you flunked.
That may have been a mistake on my part. Selective music, not of the last 25 years.
I had you down as a committed prog rocker.
No, unfortunately
really?
not.
What's your kind of music?
Well, 60s, 70s kind of things.
That's Pink Floyd, isn't it?
Well, yeah, but they're quite specialist, aren't they? Too specialist for me, anyway.
It might be best if you just give us the names of specific groups and I will ask you a question on those.
That would be good.
How would that be?
Can that be arranged?
Yeah, if you just...
Kinks would be good.
Kinks.
Hollies.
Hollies.
Sweet.
Christine, anything else you want to add to the request that Richard will be deaf to?
Yeah, probably a bit of sport, something like that.
Well, very, very best of luck to you, Roger and Christine. Great to have you back on the show. I think maybe finalists today. Don't you think?
We'll
Fingers
see.
crossed.
With a following win, let's hope. Next, we welcome Paul and David. Now, how do you two know each other?
Well, we've known each other for ages, met up in the pub, lots of similar hobbies, and now we're married to sisters, so we see each other all the
Oh, you're
time.
married to sisters? Yeah. Now, that's a great outcome for friends.
Yeah, we sort of organised it a bit, really.
Oh, really? Did the sisters have any hand in this?
Well, I was with one of them already, we didn't just pick them. Yeah.
I see. And you set Paul up with her sister?
Yeah.
That's right.
And thank goodness it worked out.
Yeah.
Now, what do you do, David?
I'm an archaeologist, or a geoarchaeologist, which is kind of a nerdy sub-branch of archaeology.
Very good. How about you, Paul?
I'm a finance officer at the University of Winchester.
Very good indeed. How long have you been doing that?
About 5 years, so I help out students getting student loans, bursaries, different ways to fund their degree.
Good stuff. What would you like to see come up this afternoon, David?
Have something on fish. Fish would be nice.
Are you interested in catching them, or
I've just watched a lot of sad programmes about fish in my lifetime, so there's probably a lot in there.
Well, like Moby Dick, that is sad, isn't it? That's
mostly catching fish.
Of course, Moby Dick was a whale. I know. Mostly catching fish.
Yeah.
There's nothing sad about that. Very, very exciting. It is very exciting. Have you ever...
It's very exciting catching fish.
It's exciting.
Oh, so it's nice, it's peaceful, it's a challenge.
Can be very exciting.
I don't know if it's high octane. It's not like driving monster trucks, is it?
Can be.
Depends how you fish.
Certainly does. Certainly does. How do you fish, David?
On a skateboard. It is quite exciting.
That is exciting. Very, very best of luck to the pair of you. It's great to have you on the show. And finally, we have got Sina and Michael. How do you two know each other?
Well, we've known about each other for since we were 8 years old, and we recently got together about 4 years ago, and we are now engaged to be married.
Oh, well, many congratulations. Exactly. Yes, I think that's right. I think that's an appropriate response. Sina.
Hi.
That's a fantastic name. Am I saying it right?
It's Sina, yeah. It's a Polynesian moon goddess.
What did you Sina, Michael? See, it never stops. What do you do, Michael?
I'm a chef doing modern British food.
OK. Sina, what do you do?
I sell video games at the moment. I was a bookseller for 15 years.
Were
and
you?
Now have moved over into the video gaming industry.
And what would you like to see come up today?
1980s cartoons, music from 1977.
Oh, that's perfect. That's the sort of answer I really like. Michael, how about you?
The films of Alfred Hitchcock.
And nothing else.
That's it.
Very good. Well, it's great to have you here, Sina and Michael. Very best of luck to the pair of you. We'll find out more about all of you throughout the show. There's only one person left for me to introduce. He's here to give us a full and frank account of the facts. He's my pointless friend. He's Richard.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Afternoon.
A very good afternoon to you.
Are you very well?
I'm extremely well, thank you. How about you?
Excellent. Yeah, very well, thanks. It's a great lineup today. We've got two returning pairs. Roger and Christine obviously went very well last time, so history would tell us they should do very well again. A couple of good new pairs as well, some great rounds. Should be a cracker, I think.
Should be a cracker. Well, let's hope. Well, we put all our questions to 100 people before the show, but this is pointless, so we are after the obscure answers they didn't get. To stay in the game with a chance to win our jackpot, all our players need to do is score as few points as they can. Now, what everyone's trying to do, of course, is find a pointless answer. That's an answer that none of our 100 people gave, and each time that happens, we will add £250 to the jackpot. Nobody won the jackpot last time, so we add another £1,000 to that. So today's jackpot starts off at £3,500. Right, let's play Pointless. In the first round, each of you must give me one answer and you cannot confer with your partner. Whichever team has the highest score at the end of the round will be eliminated. Now, if anybody gives me an incorrect answer, they will score the maximum of 100 points, so do try and avoid those. OK, our first category this afternoon is languages. Languages. Can you all decide in your pairs who's going to go first, who's going to go second? And whoever's going first, please step up to the podium. OK, let's find out what the question is. We gave 100 people 100 seconds to name as many census languages as they could. Census languages, Richard.
Yeah, the 2011 census that we all filled in was available in lots and lots of different languages. We're looking for any of the languages for which you could get a translation booklet for the 2011 census. There are over 50 answers on this list, over 50 languages you could have completed the census in. Very best of luck.
Thank you very much, Richard. Right, Leanne and Vicky all drew lots before the show, and this afternoon you get to go first. Vicky, census languages. Nice obscure census language to see you through to the next round.
I'm really searching my brain for an obscure answer. I think I'm going to play quite safe, or should I? Is this a language? Hindu?
Hindu, OK. Hindu, you're hoping to score as few points as possible with that answer. Let's see if Hindu's right, and if it is, let's see how many of our 100 people said Hindu. Bad luck, Vicky. I'm afraid that is an incorrect answer, which means you score the maximum of 100 points. I'm sorry. Richard?
Yeah, sorry, Vicky, no such language as Hindu. I'll explain that all at the end of the round.
OK, now, Christine. Remember, we are looking for languages into which the 2011 census were translated.
Right, I think I'll try one of the more of Eastern European. I'll say Polish.
Polish. You say Polish. Let's see if that's right. And if it is, let's see how many people said Polish. It's right. 50.
Okay.
50 for Polish, Richard.
Yeah, huge score, isn't it? A lot of Polish people in the UK now. Supposedly 750,000 Poles or people with Polish connections now in the UK.
OK. Now then, David. A language in the census of 2011.
I'm in two minds whether to do a really risky one or a safe one. Let me go for Mandarin.
Mandarin. OK, you're hoping to score as few points as possible. Mandarin, says David. Is it right? And if it is, how many of our 100 people said Mandarin? It is right. Down it goes, the lowest score so far. Oh, very, very well done. That's a great score, David. Mandarin scoring 7. Richard.
Yeah, well played, David. 2/3 of Chinese speak Mandarin, about 300,000 native Chinese people in the UK.
And now, Michael. What's the most obscure census language you can think of?
I've changed my mind about 3 times, but I'm going to go for Korean.
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 OK, well, you're hoping to score as few points as possible. Let's see if Korean is right, and if it is, let's see how many people said Korean. It's right. Down it goes. Oh, very well done indeed, Michael. That's a spectacular answer. 2 points for Korean. Richard.
Yeah, Korean, very good. Spoken by 75 million people worldwide, a lot of whom live in Korea.
Fantastic. OK, well, we're halfway through the round, so let's take a look at the scores. Michael and Sina, lovely answer there from Michael. 2 points, up to 7 points for David and Paul, up to 50 for Christine and Roger, and then way up to 100 for Vicky and Leanne. Bad luck. That was a really unfortunate answer you gave there. Richard will eventually explain why that was not allowed. OK, we're going to come back down the line. Can the second players please take their places at the podium? OK, Sina, we are looking for languages in which translation booklets for the 2011 census were available.
I'm going to go with Gujarati.
Gujarati?
Yeah.
Oh, what an answer. OK, the high scorers on 100 are Leanne and Vicky. You're on 2. That means if you can score 97 or less, you are through to the next round. There's your red line. Below that red line, you are through to the next round. Gujarati, is it right? How many people said it? It's right, and you've done it. £10. Gujarati, 10 points. Korean, only 2, but there we are. It's still a great score. 10 points takes your total up to 12. Richard.
Yeah, well played, Sina. Great team as well. It's spoken by 46 million people worldwide, Gujarati, mainly in the Indian state of the same name.
Now then, Paul. The high scorers remain Leanne and Vicky on 100. If you can score 92 or less, you are through to the next round. So remember, we are looking for languages that the 2011 census was translated into.
OK, I've got a few choices, but I might play relatively safe to try and get us through and go for Greek.
OK, here's your red line. Below that red line, Greek has seen you through to the next round. Let's see if Greek is right, and if it is, let's see how many people said it. Greek. Is right, and you are through. Eight for Greek. Very well chosen. Richard.
Yeah, well played, Paul. Good choice. There's estimated over 150,000 Greek speakers in London alone.
Now then, this gets exciting. Roger. You are only 50 points behind the high scorers, Leanne and Vicky. You have to score 49 or less to be sure of a place in the next round. What's the most obscure census language you can think of?
Yeah, I have a couple I'm tossing up with, and I'm going to try Portuguese.
Portuguese, you're saying? There's your red line. Below that red line, you are through to the next round. OK, let's see if that's right, and if it is, let's see how many people said Portuguese. It's right. You've done it. You're through. Wow. 3 for Portuguese. A very well-gauged answer there, Roger. 3 for Portuguese takes your total up to 53. Richard.
Yeah, Portuguese, very well done, safely through. Spoken by more than 200 million people worldwide, Portuguese.
Brazilians, of course.
Yeah, they love a bit of it. The Brazilian census you can also fill in Portuguese if you so choose. That's if they have one. I'm assuming they do.
Anyway, now, Leanne, you are currently on 100 points. You are currently ahead of the field by quite a margin. I'm afraid that means that whatever you say, even if you cover yourself in glory individually, as a team, you will be leaving us at the end of this round. However, Maybe there's a pointless answer out there. Maybe you can find a pointless language into which the 2011 census was translated.
Okay. I will go then for Afrikaans.
Afrikaans. Very, very good indeed. Let's see if that's right, and let's see how many people said it if it is. There's no red line for you, I'm afraid. Let's see if Afrikaans is right. Oh, out in a blaze of glory. Look at that, Leanne. I'm afraid that's an incorrect answer, which means you score an impressive 100 points, taking your total up to an earth-shattering 200. You've joined the Pointless 200 Club. Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Richard.
Yeah, no Afrikaans, I'm afraid. You could have had Dutch, funnily enough, which would have scored you 2 points, what Afrikaans is based on, but no Afrikaans. Hindu we couldn't allow because it's Hindi is the language, so you're a vowel out, I'm afraid. Would have scored you 34 points, so it was a fairly big score anyway, but might have kept you in the game. There are a whole load of pointless answers. Let's take a look at a few of them. Amharic, Igbo, which is there's a cluster of languages in Nigeria and Cameroon. Malay, spoken across the Malay Peninsula. Nepalese, Pahari was pointless. Pashto, which is the language of Afghanistan and bits of Pakistan. Shona, Vietnamese, and Yoruba. You could have filled your census in any of those. Next time, do it in one of those. Let's take a look at the most popular answers, the ones that most of our 100 people say. It's a very interesting little list, actually. In third, as you might imagine, Welsh, with 42. Then in second, English, 47. And beating English, we've already seen them, actually, it's the Poles. So Polish with 50. More people said Polish than English.
Wow.
Yeah, how about that? But I think perhaps you wouldn't think that you could. It's obvious that you fill your census in English, so perhaps people didn't say it.
Very good. Well, thanks, Richard. So at the end of round one, the losing pair with the highest score, it's Leanne and Vicky. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. This isn't how it was meant to be. I thought at least the head-to-head for you today.
And us.
Oh dear. Hindu, Hindi.
I'll remember.
I know. One's a religion, one's a language. Dear, oh dear. Well, it's been fabulous having you on the show. I'm so sorry we have to say goodbye now, but brilliant contestants. Thanks so much for playing. Thank you. But for the remaining three pairs, it's now time for round two. Now, there's only room for two pairs in the head-to-head, so one team is going to be leaving us at the end of this round. Our category for round two this afternoon is sitcoms. Sitcoms. Can you all decide in your pairs who's going to go first, who's going to go second? And whoever's going first, please step up to the podium. OK, our round two question concerns BBC sitcoms and their settings. BBC sitcoms and their settings. Richard.
Yeah, we're going to show you 6 BBC sitcoms on each pass. We asked 100 people in which type of establishment are these sitcoms mainly set. The more obscure answers are going to score you fewer points. If you give us an incorrect answer, though, you're going to score 100 points. So there's going to be 12 sitcoms in all, 12 establishments to guess. Very best of luck at home.
OK, thanks very much. So we are looking for the establishments, the types of establishment these sitcoms are set in. And we have got Allo Allo, Early Doors, Getting On, Waiting for God, Dinner Ladies, The Thin Blue Line. I'll read those one more time. Allo Allo, Early Doors, Getting On, Waiting for God, Dinner Ladies, The Thin Blue Line. OK, Christine. Do you watch a lot of sitcoms?
Yeah.
So this is a good category for you?
I know them all but one,
Good.
but it's just a matter of which one to go for.
Right.
I think I'm going to go for Waiting for God, which is in a retirement home.
OK, you're going to say a retirement home for Waiting for God. As always on Pointless, you're hoping to give the one that the fewest of our 100 people knew the answer to. OK, a retirement home for Waiting for God. Let's see if that's right. And if it is, let's see how many people knew that answer. Yep, it's right. 51. 51 for Waiting for God. I'm guessing it might be quite a high-scoring round generally. Richard?
Yeah, it's a pretty high score, though. Set in the Bayview retirement home, started in 1990. And Stephanie Cole, who played Diana, who's one of the main characters, she was 48 when she started playing her. playing a pensioner in a retirement home.
Wow. OK, David. Remember, we are looking for the types of establishment in which each of these sitcoms was set.
Wow, there's a couple of those I've never heard of.
Mm-hmm.
And the rest, I suspect, are all high answers. But I'm going to go with Allo Allo, and that's set in a cafe.
Allo Allo, set in a cafe, says David. Let's see if that's right. And if it is, let's see how many people knew that answer. That's right. Ooh, that was a punishing high score there, David. 76 for Allo Allo, set in a cafe. Richard?
Yeah, some big scores here, aren't they? Allo Allo, of course, set in a cafe in the town of Nouvion.
Very good. Now, Sina. Remember, we are looking for the types of establishment in which each of these sitcoms was set. You're the last person to have this board, so if you like, you can fill in all the blanks.
Okay, Early Doors, I think, is set in a pub. Getting On, I think, is like a mental institution. I'm not sure. Dinner Ladies is set in a school canteen, and the Thin Blue Line is the police station. And I think I might go Thin Blue Line and police station.
Thin Blue Line, police station, you're saying? Let's see if that's right, and if it is, let's see how many people remembered that. Very good. Ooh, wow, 91. Core. Very high score. 91.
Yeah, it's the worst thing you could have gone for. I think even if people hadn't seen it, they would guess from the name maybe. Written by Ben Elton, starring Rowan Atkinson, The Thin Blue Line. 91 points. Let's take a look at the others, though. Dinner Ladies, not a school canteen, it's a staff canteen, would have scored you 34. If you'd said Early Doors, I think that would have been a much better answer. 14. You're absolutely right, it was set in a pub. And Getting On, it's set in a hospital. It's Joe Brand's sitcom for BBC4. Would have scored 3 points, so very well done if you said Getting On at home.
Very good indeed. OK, well, we're halfway through the round, so let's take a look at the scores as they stand. 51, Christine. As it turns out, the lowest score in the pass. Then up to 76 for David and Paul. Then up to 91 for Sina and Michael. Well, when we come back down the line, Michael, you're going to have to find a really obscure answer to make sure you get through to the head-to-head. OK, we're going to come back down the line. Can the second players please take their places at the podium? All right, we're going to put 6 more sitcoms on the board, and here they are. We've got Roger Roger, Porridge, The Peter Principle, Eyes Down, Chalk, Are You Being Served? I'll read those one more time. Roger Roger, Porridge, The Peter Principle, Eyes Down, Chalk, Are You Being Served? Now, remember, we are looking for the settings, the type of establishment in which each of these sitcoms was set. And obviously, you're trying to find the one that the fewest of our 100 people knew. Now then, Michael, you're the high scorers on 91. It's going to have to be an obscure answer from you.
I know 2 of those, but I'm going to take a rough guess because I need to take a risk. So I'm going to go for Roger Roger, Cab Firm.
Roger Roger, Cab Firm. Sounds entirely reasonable. Let's hope it's right, and if it is, let's see how many people said Roger Roger, Cab Firm. It's right. Well done, Michael. 19. That's a great low score. Very, very well done. That takes your total up to 110. I wonder if it's low enough to see you through to the head-to-head, but that was a great answer.
Yeah, perfect logic, Michael. Well played. Set in Cresta Cabs and written by John Sullivan, who also wrote Only Fools and Horses, of course.
Now then, Paul. We are looking for the types of establishment in which each of these sitcoms was set.
I need to take a bit of a risk here.
Yes.
There's a couple between Eyes Down and Chalk.
Well, the high scorers on 110, currently Michael and Sina. You're on 76, which means if you can score 33 or less, you are through to the next round.
OK, I'll go for the one I think will be slightly more obscure. I'll go for Chalk, which I believe is set in a school.
Chalk, set in a school, you're saying. Here's your red line coming in. Below that red line, you are through to the next round. Let's see if Chalk is indeed set in a school, and if it is, let's see how many people knew that answer. You've done it. 15 for Chalk. There we go. Not a bad answer at all. Takes your total up to 91. Richard.
Yeah, well played, Paul. Good answer. Written by the wonderful Stephen Moffat, who went on to run Doctor Who and co-create Sherlock.
Roger. Remember, we are looking for the types of establishment in which each of these sitcoms was set.
Yes.
The high scorers on 110, Michael and Sina. You're on 51, which means if you can score 58 or less, you are through to the next round. You're the last person to have this board, so you can fill in the blanks for us if you like.
Well, I know porridge and how you've been served, but I feel they might be pretty high. I could probably hazard a guess at eyes down, but I don't know it. And I think and hope the Peter Principle was set in a bank.
Peter Principle set in a bank. Let's see if that's right. Was the Peter Principle set in a bank? How many people knew that answer? There is your red line. Below that red line, you are in the head-to-head. Peter Principle Bank. Is it right? How many people knew that answer? It's right. And you've done it. Very well done. Oh, fantastic answer, Roger. Best answer of the whole round. It scores you 1, takes your total up to 52. Richard.
Yeah, well played, Roger. Great answer. Peter Principle starred Jim Broadbent. The Peter Principle itself is the business principle that you keep getting promoted and promoted and promoted until eventually you reach a job that you can't do, and then you stay there. Let's take a look at the rest of the board. You're quite right to avoid porridge and are you being served. Porridge is in a prison and would have scored 98 points. How about that? Are you being served would have scored 85 points, set in a department store, of course. And Eyes Down, as the name suggests, was set in a bingo hall. Star Paul O'Grady would have scored you 39 points. So chalk was a great answer from Peter Principle. Very, very good answer. Well done if you got all of those at home, especially.
Very good. Well, thanks very much, Richard. So at the end of round 2, the losing pair with the highest score, I'm afraid, Sina and Michael.
Never mind.
Oh, dear. Well, who would have thought? Thin Blue Line, such a whopping score. So, yes, I'm afraid you were ill-served by our sitcom round. Anyway, the good news is we will get to see you again next time, when I'm sure that we will see a great deal more of you. But meanwhile, thanks so much for playing, Michael and Sina. Brilliant contestants. Thank you. But for the remaining 2 pairs, things are about to get even more exciting now as we enter the head-to-head. Now, very well done, Roger and Christine, Paul and David. You've made it through to the head-to-head. Now, obviously, only one pair can make it through to today's final and play for the jackpot, which currently stands at £3,500. Now, for each question, each pair needs to give me just one answer, but you are now allowed to confer. All you have to do is come up with an answer that scores less than the other pair, and you will win that question. The first pair to win 2 questions will be playing for today's jackpot. Let's play Pointless. OK, here is your first question. We gave 100 people 100 seconds to name as many locations of UK political party conferences as they could. Richard.
Yeah, we're looking for any town or city which has hosted an annual autumn conference for either the Conservative, Labour or Lib Dem parties since 2000, all the way through to and including the 2010 conferences. OK, thanks very much, Richard. Roger and Christine, because you played best throughout the show so far, you get to go first. OK, Christine.
Blackpool.
Blackpool. You are saying Blackpool. Paul and David.
There's a few options.
None of them I can think of particularly obscure.
Yeah, I know they quite often go down the south coast, Brighton, Bournemouth.
Brighton's a very famous one. Go Bournemouth. You sure there's a Bournemouth one?
Bournemouth.
Bournemouth. We have Blackpool, we have Bournemouth. Roger and Christine, you're quite certain of Blackpool. Let's see if it really is right. And if it is, let's see how many people said Blackpool. It's right. Look at that, 34 for Blackpool. Paul and David, you have gone for Bournemouth. You sure about that one?
No. I think the Lib Dems go down to Bournemouth.
It'd be nice for them, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
By the sea. Yes. OK, well, let's see. Bournemouth, is it right? And if it is, let's see how many people said Bournemouth. Yes, it's right. And it beats Blackpool, look at that. 11. 34 people said Blackpool, but only 11 said Bournemouth. So Paul and David are up 1-0 after one question. Richard.
Yeah, 11 points. And it's actually been used 11 times since 2000, Bournemouth. It's the best answer on the board, but actually the place where it's been held most often. Lib Dems 5 times, Tories 4 times, and even Labour twice. But let's take a look at all of the different venues. There's Bournemouth right at the bottom of the board with 11. Liverpool, the Lib Dems held a conference there, that's 18. Manchester, 22. Labour and the Tories have both been there. Birmingham, 28. The Tories have been there twice. Blackpool up on 34. They've all been there, but mainly the Tories. And Brighton on 45. That's had Labour 5 times and Lib Dems 4 times since 2000.
OK, here is your second question. Roger and Christine, you have to win this question to stay in the game. Here it comes. We gave 100 people 100 seconds to name as many of the Bangles UK Top 40 hits as they could. Bangles UK Top 40 hits, Richard.
Yeah, we're looking for any single released by the Bangles, which has reached the UK Top 40 prior to April 2011, please.
OK, now, Paul and David, you go first this time.
We think we'll go with Manic Monday.
Manic Monday. You are saying Manic Monday. Roger and Christine.
More like an Egyptian, that'll be too... No, I think that'll be too many. Right, we'll take a chance on Love in the First Degree.
Love in the First Degree. Everything hangs on this result. Paul and David have gone with Manic Monday. Let's see if that's right, and if it is, let's see how many people said Manic Monday for the Bangles. It is right. "24. 24 for Manic Monday. Roger and Christine, you are going with Love in the First Degree. You have to win this question to stay in the game. Let's see if Love in the First Degree is right for the Bangles, and if it is, let's see how many people said it. Love in the First Degree. Good luck. Bad luck, Roger. That means after only 2 questions, Paul and David are through to the final 2-0. Richard.
Yeah, well played, guys. Love in the First Degree was Bananarama, number 3 hit in 1987. You've been beaten by Bananarama and Bournemouth, I'm afraid. Let's take a look at all the answers. 3 massive hits and some more obscure ones. If you got any of these at home, you would have won the point, I suspect. Something that you said was a pointless answer. Be With You, 1 point. 2 points for the following: Walking Down Your Street in Your Room and If She Knew What She Wants. Hazy Shade of Winter, the cover of that would have scored 3. There's Manic Monday, 24. Walk Like an Egyptian would have lost you the point as well, 36. And Eternal Flame, their big #1 single, scores 37.
Thank you very much indeed, Richard. So the losing pair at the end of the head-to-head round, I'm afraid it's Roger and Christine. Oh, it was tough. I'm impressed, though, that you obviously catalogue your music, because instead of, it was the B-A-N. It was just Bananarama instead of Bangles.
It must be out of order on the rack.
It must be. Well, I'm sorry, but you performed fantastically well. I'm sorry that you're not here for the final, but brilliant. You've been fantastic, contestants. Thank you. But for Paul and David, it's now time for our pointless final and the chance to win our jackpot of £3,500. Well, congratulations, Paul and David. You fought off all the competition and you have won our coveted pointless trophies. You now have a chance to win our pointless jackpot, and at the end of today's show, the jackpot stands at £3,500. Now, the rules are very simple. To win that money, all you have to do is find a pointless answer. That's an answer that none of our 100 people could think of. Now, we haven't had any pointless answers on the show today. You only have to find one now, and you will go home with that money. First, though, you've got to choose a category. You can choose from these 3 options. Let's have a look. Sports films, spy fiction, composers.
Oh, that's bad for me.
Sports films.
I would be
spy fiction or
I'd be awful
composers.
at composers. Do you read spy fiction?
Not much.
Sports
Not
film?
unless it happens to be like Bond or a few other ones. That are
Could be Bond related.
Could be. Spy fiction.
We're going to have a risk at spy fiction.
You can tell we're very confident.
Hope
we'll
the
go for
words
spy fiction.
James Bond pops up.
And if they don't?
If they do, we might still be in trouble. If they don't, we'll
Okay.
keep our fingers crossed.
Okay. Let's find out what the question is. We gave 100 people 100 seconds to name as many John le Carré novels as they could. Richard.
Yeah, we're looking for any full-length novel written by John le Carré that's published prior to April 2011, please.
Okay, you now have up to 1 minute to come up with 3 answers. And all you need to win that £3,500 is for just one of those answers to be pointless. Your 60 seconds start now.
So he didn't write Bond.
He didn't write Bond.
I've got...
Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy is one of his, but it's also massively famous.
It's one.
I think he did George Smiley books. One of those is Smiley's People, I think. I don't know if that was just a programme.
It's
Also
probably
very
going to be based
famous.
on a book. So you've got anything else? Maybe that's been turned to TV that we can use?
John le Carré, John le Carré, John le Carré.
What did you say, George Smiley? So it's
Yeah.
a range of books.
Yeah, there's quite a few with him in, but I've never read them. I've never read any John le Carré at all. There is one on my shelf, but it's called
What's it
Tinker
called?
Tailor Soldier Spy.
Okay. Can you think of anything else?
Let me rack my brains.
It's down to you, I can't think of anything.
I know. I do apologise for making you choose this category. No, that's it. We've only got the 2.
We're going to have to take a punt at another.
5 seconds remain.
George Smiley.
Okay, that's your minute up. We were looking for John le Carré novels.
Yes.
I now need 3 answers from you.
Well, if you have 2 and a guess.
Yes.
Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy.
Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy.
I'm at least fairly confident is the John le Carré novel.
The George...
Smiley's People.
Smiley's People.
I may be imagining that, but that rings a bell. I'm also pretty sure if it is one that it's very famous.
And based on that, you think the Smileys is a...
There's probably Smiley's something else.
Make up a spy kind of word. Investigates. Revenge.
Let's go for Smiley's End.
Smiley's End.
Smiley's End.
But that is made up.
It sounds like a good book.
Oh, at least this isn't on telly.
Okay, now of those 3 answers, which do you think is your most confident shot at a pointless answer?
Smiley's People. If that is one, then that's going to be less popular than Tinker Tailor.
Smiley's People, bung that 3rd.
Yes.
Which is your least likely?
Well, to be honest, the made-up one is probably the
Smiley's End.
Yeah.
Smiley's End we'll put first.
Yeah, I think you probably should.
Okay, let's put them up on the board in that order, and here they are. Smiley's End, Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, and Smiley's People. There they are. We were looking for John le Carré novels. You said this was your least confident answer. You only need to find one pointless answer to win that £3,500 jackpot. Okay, let's see if Smiley's End happens to be a John le Carré novel. If it is, and it's pointless, you leave here with my massive congratulations and £3,500. Okay, Smiley's End. Is it right? How many people said it? Sadly, an incorrect answer. But there we are. We've now dispatched with Smiley's End. We can now get down to proper John le Carré novels. Unfortunately, not a pointless answer. You only have 2 more chances to win today's jackpot. £3,500. What would you do with that?
I'd go on a holiday. Got a 9-month-old son, Ralph. Hasn't been on holiday yet, so go on holiday with my wife, probably over to France or something.
A bit of childcare in another country. That's nice, yeah. Very good. David, how about you?
Well, I've told my wife it would be spent on the kitchen, but actually maybe some nice whiskey and a holiday.
Oh, some nice whiskey. Very good. A malt, with you, or one of those rare blends.
One of everything.
One of everything. Very good indeed. Okay, well, we're looking for John le Carré novels. Let's hope nobody said your next answer. This has to be correct and it has to be pointless for you to win that £3,500. Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. Let's see if it's right, and if it is, let's see how many people said it. Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. Well, it's right. We suspected it might be right. The next thing it has to be is pointless. But this will give us some indication of what our 100 people know about John le Carré. It's still going down, 18. 18. So you'd be very glad of 18 in normal gameplay, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Not in this round, though. Sadly, not a pointless answer. So only one more chance to win today's jackpot. OK, we are looking for John le Carré novels. You said this was the answer you had the most faith in. Smiley's People. This has to be right and has to be pointless. And if it's both of those things, you will leave here with £3,500. Let's see if it's right. And let's see how many people said Smiley's People. Good luck. Well, it is right. You weren't entirely sure, but it is right. 18 was what you scored with Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. Let's see what you get with Smiley's People. Down it goes. Single figures. Down it goes. Oh, look at that. Five. Again, a cracking score in any round but this.
It's beginning to hope then.
So was I. Unfortunately, though, you didn't manage to find that all-important pointless answer, so I'm very, very sorry to say you don't go away with today's jackpot of £3,500, which will roll over onto the next show. But you have been fantastic contestants, and you do, of course, take home the pointless trophies. So, Richard.
Yeah, bad luck, guys. Other big answers there. There was the spy who came in from the cold, the constant gardener, there's the tailor of Panama. There is a bunch of pointless answers. Let's take a look at some of them. A Murder of Quality is only his second ever novel. That featured Smiley. That was pointless. A Small Town in Germany. The Honourable Schoolboy, another Smiley spy novel. The Looking Glass War was pointless. The Naive and Sentimental Lover, that's when he tried to write about something other than espionage. And The Night Manager was pointless. And The Russia House, which is a film as well with Sean Connery and Michelle Pfeiffer. But I think he's a brilliant writer. You could do a lot worse than read a few of his.
I shall. I certainly shall. And, we recognised a few of those.
The Russia House, I did.
Oh, Looking Glass War as well. Oh, that doesn't make it any easier. But then we didn't know they were by John le Carré, for heaven's sake. What were we going to do? So what will you be taking away from your pointless experience?
Lots of John le Carré books to read.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, we have to say goodbye to you, Paul and David. It's been brilliant having you on the show. Thank you both so much for playing. Excellent contestants. Nobody's won our jackpot today, so it rolls over, which means on the next show we will be playing for £4,500. Join us then to see if someone can win it. Meanwhile, it's goodbye from Richard.
Goodbye.
And it's goodbye from me. Goodbye.